I could not believe it. We are back. Roll that intro.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back.
Good morning, evening, or night. I'm Caleb Myhill, and I hope you had a fantastic summer break and you're looking forward to a fantastic first week back at school. You know, to start your first week off just right, here is some speedy news. Students may enter the building starting at 7:20 a.m. There will be a grab-and-go breakfast stationed at every entrance of the building, and you grab your breakfast, you head on into your homeroom, and you eat it there. You must be in your homeroom by 7:33 a.m. because that is the official start time of school, and that is where attendance will be taken. Breakfast and lunch are free once again for all students this year. If you have not yet picked up your schedule, you can either access that on School Tool or you can head to the counseling office on your first day back and pick it up there. Students will be released on a staggered schedule starting at 2:02 p.m. Everyone who comes to school must wear a mask. Outdoor sports don't require masks, but indoor ones do. 3 feet of social distancing will be enforced when practical. Lastly, our school is looking forward to providing in-person instruction to all students. This has been some speedy news. This year, the school is going to empower you to build positive relationships and become your best self by appreciating, understanding, and exemplifying the character strengths in us all. Maybe you remember about 2 years ago, middle and high school students took a VIA character strengths survey. This is where you found out what your top strengths are. As seen here, there are 24 character strengths, ranging from curiosity, hope, perspective, love, and countless others. What do you think are your top 5 strengths? If you remember what strengths are your best from 2 years ago, maybe those strengths are still your top ones. Or do you think you have changed over the past 2 years? As many of you know, we have a new superintendent, Mr. Seymour. I had the opportunity to sit down with Mr. Seymour and interview him to get to know a little more about him. Prior to becoming our superintendent, Mr. Seymour was a superintendent at St. Regis Falls for 2.5 years. He was also a principal and social studies teacher. In his first couple of months here, he has had an exciting time.
My first month as superintendent has been very exciting and busy. My wife and young son moved to town with me 3 days before I started. So we were able to find a home and move in. And it starts on back, and then from there, I started work 2 days later, and it was right into things. So ultimately, it's been exciting, and I've had a lot of help, people showing me the ropes and helping me to understand the system, who's involved here.
He has learned a couple of things in this short amount of time.
So I've learned a lot about kind of just how Lake Placid as a community and how the school fits into that community, what that kind of relationship is like, how it's framed. Anecdotally, you go to the cottage and 4 or 5 of the waiters or waitresses are former or current students. You go to the beach and you can tell that there's students working there. So from my perspective, it's great that the students are embedded in the community and the community is embedded in the school.
He is also looking forward to seeing people take some calculated risks.
I'm excited to have people try things and take some calculated risks. I'd like to see people feel like they can follow their passions and feel like the learning that they're doing is relevant to their interests. We're in a unique situation with the pandemic happening still, where we're kind of in a gray area in terms of how to measure what student success looks like right now, because we don't have a control. There's so many factors impacting the learning. So some people will look at that and say, well, that's unfortunate. We're not going to really be able to truly assess the value of what we're doing. But I look at it as an opportunity and just say, well, because this process is already going to be a little bit compromised by the pandemic, we have a chance to try things in a somewhat risk-free environment right now to engage students in a way that's going to be more fun for them.
When it comes to COVID, our situation is going to look pretty similar to where we left things off in June.
So, the indoor masking would be continuing. I know that we're making great efforts here in the district to set up large tents so that outdoor learning can take place to a greater degree. The block schedule at the middle high is going to continue, so that'll provide additional opportunities for students to maybe travel to different locations for classes to happen. Some of the things that are going to change that you might have grown accustomed to last year are the tandem instruction that was happening, where you'd have a student at home remotely and in the class simultaneously being taught by the teacher. We really have just found that puts a tremendous strain on the instructors, and that it's really better for us and for the product that we present to the students if we maintain direct focus in the classroom. And if we need to provide some remote support to students, we do so outside of the classroom.
He wanted the students to know this.
I think what I want the students to know is that I view learning as something that's fun and exciting. And my goal is to make sure that students feel that the environment for them promotes that same feeling. If you see me, I'm probably going to be smiling. I'm probably going to drop some dad jokes. I'm probably going to embarrass myself if there's a dance. I probably will bust out some moves that I'll regret almost immediately. But for me, it's just about having fun. Life is too short to do anything but that. So I hope to bring that kind of sense of just happiness and fun to the district.
And he wanted the community to know this.
What I want the community to know is that the reason that I'm here, and the reason that I've moved to Lake Placid, is that I want to have a strong relationship in the community and in the school. That I don't want to leave the office and feel like there's a disconnect between where I live and where I work. And in every other role that I've had in the educational process, I've lived away from where I work. So this is the first time for me that I get to be a part of something in the community and the school simultaneously. And my son is 3. He's peak right now. He's absolutely adorable. I'm heavily biased and proud of him. And I'm excited for my son to be a part of the school system and community that I'm going to do my best to support. And those dinner table conversations 10 years, 15 years down the road are going to be great. I look forward to it.
When Mr. Seymour was little, he wanted to be the President of the United States. He has even worked in the House of Representatives and the Irish Parliament in Dublin. He's also a musician.
So I played drums my whole life, and then about 15 years ago started playing guitar and singing, and I was in a band. We played all over the North Country for a good 10 years. And then once I began my transition into administration and fatherhood, I just didn't have the time to do that as much. So now I'm pretty much playing an acoustic at home when I get a chance, but that's probably something you wouldn't expect.
In his free time, he enjoys reading, walking in nature, spending time with his family, playing the guitar, and getting an ice cream at Donnelly's. Mr. Seymour enjoys a plethora of sports.
So as a student, I was always a 3-season athlete. So I did soccer, indoor track, and outdoor track. I would say playing it, I enjoy soccer the most. Watching it, I probably, outside of the Olympics, which I just love watching all the Olympic events, probably football is for me the most.
As a musician, he loves music.
I'm a big Bob Marley fan. I love some reggae. I like classic rock, funk, classical music. If you go into my office on a daily basis, you don't know if you're going to be in Jamaica or in Vienna. So, the district clerk, Mrs. Angelopoulos, is a very patient woman, and she is kind to allow me to listen to music while I work. It changes every day.
He also wanted to leave students with this final message.
All I want to share is that I'm excited to be your superintendent, and I feel honored, and I hope that I can be the type of person that you want to come up to and talk to and bring ideas to, big and small, because I work for you. I work for the students, and my job is to make sure that your experience is the best it can possibly be, and I can't do that unless I know what it is you do. So
Thank you very much, Mr. Seymour, for giving me the time and opportunity to interview you. It was a lot of fun. And I want to thank you all very much for tuning in. Have a wonderful first week back. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands, and most importantly, don't forget to smile. I can't wait to see you next time, where there will be more on weather, sports, news, student life, you name it. Well, maybe it'll be on here. It's going to be great.
Don't worry.